when the panic ends. Your glory shining like the morning. How could I deserve a love like this? I'm trusting you, I'm laying down the lies. Open up my eyes, letting you change everything. When I give up, you give me life unknown. Now I'm not my own, letting you change everything. My heart has become your throne. Almighty, nothing comes close. My soul is safe within my Savior. There's no other love that's greater. My heart has become your throne. Almighty, nothing comes close. My soul is safe within my Savior. There's no other love that's greater. Your love is 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 greater.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Centre Point Kids Online. Stay tuned for today's story, some music, and some great ideas to keep those creative minds active.
Hi kids, great to have you join us today. In Acts 24 last week, we read that Felix was no longer governor and that he had left Paul in prison to please the Jews. Chapter 25 tells us that 3 days later, after Festus had become governor, he went from Caesarea to Jerusalem. There, the leading priests and important Jewish leaders made charges against Paul before Festus. They asked Festus to do something for them. They wanted him to send Paul back to Jerusalem. They had a plan to kill Paul on the way. Oh dear, that's a terrible plan. But Festus answered, no, Paul will be kept in Caesarea. I will return there soon myself. Some of you leaders should go with me. They can accuse the man there in Caesarea if he really has done something wrong. The next day, he told the soldiers to bring Paul before him. Festus was seated on the judge's seat when Paul came into the room. The Jews who had come from Jerusalem stood all around him. They started making serious charges against Paul, but they could not prove any of them. This is what Paul said to defend himself. I have done nothing wrong against the Jewish law, against the temple, or against Caesar. But Festus wanted to please the Jews, so he asked Paul, do you want to go to Jerusalem? Do you want me to judge you there on these charges? Remember, they had asked Festus if he would send him back to Jerusalem, as they had planned to kill him on the way. Paul said, I am standing at Caesar's judgment seat now. This is where I should be judged. I have done nothing wrong. To the Jews, you know this is true. If I have done something wrong and the law says I must die, I do not ask to be saved from death. But if these charges are not true, then no one can give me to them. No, I want Caesar to hear my case. Festus talked about this with the people who advised him. Then he said, you have asked to see Caesar, you will go to Caesar. A few days later, King Agrippa and Bernice came to Caesarea to visit Festus. They stayed there some time, and Festus told the king about Paul's case. Festus said, "There is a man that Felix left in prison when I went to Jerusalem. The leading priests and the Jewish elders there made charges against him. They wanted me to sentence him to death, but I answered, 'When a man is accused of a crime, Romans do not hand him over just to please someone. The man must be allowed to face his accusers and defend himself against these charges.' So these Jews came here to Caesarea for the trial, and I did not waste time. The next day, I sat on the judge's seat and commanded that the man be brought in. The Jews stood up and accused him, but they did not accuse him of any serious crime, as I thought they would. The things they said about Paul just were about their own religion and about a man named Jesus. Jesus died, but Paul said he is still alive. I did not know much about these things, so I did not ask questions. But I asked Paul, 'Do you want to go to Jerusalem and be judged there?' But he asked to be kept in Caesarea. He wants a decision from the emperor. So I ordered that Paul be held until I could send him to Caesar in Rome." Agrippa said to Festus, "I would like to hear this man too." Festus said, "Tomorrow you will hear him." The next day, Agrippa and Bernice appeared. They dressed and acted like very important people. Agrippa and Bernice, the army leaders and the important men of Caesarea, went into the judgment room. Then Festus ordered the soldiers to bring Paul in. Festus said, "King Agrippa, and all who are gathered here with us, you see this man? All the Jewish people here and in Jerusalem have complained to me about him. They shout that he should not live any longer. When I judged him, I could find nothing wrong. I found no reason to order his death, but he asked to be judged by Caesar. So I decided to send him. But I have nothing definite to write the emperor about him, so I have brought him before all of you, especially you, King Agrippa. I hope that you can question him and give me something to write. I think it's foolish to send a prisoner to Caesar without telling what the charges are against him." And that's where we'll leave it this week. And you'll have to find out next week what happens. But now it's quiz time with Percy Puppet. Hi, Percy. Hi, kids. Right, question number 1. What is the name of the governor who replaced Felix? Oh, can you remember? It still begins with an F, and Grace mentioned it last week too. The name is Festus, and well done if you got that one right. Question number 2. Where was Festus seated when Paul was brought into the room? Now it's an important place to be. Can you remember where he was seated? Yeah, he was seated in the judge's seat. That's a very important seat. Okay, question number 3. Why did the Jews want Festus to bring Paul to Jerusalem? Oh, can you remember? They had a plan. It was a bad plan. They wanted to kill him. Well done if you got that one right. Question number 4. Who did Paul want to hear his case? Can you remember? He wanted Caesar to hear his case. Question number 5. What did King Agrippa ask Festus? Can you remember what he asked him? He asked to hear Paul speak. Now you get a star and a tick if you get that one right, because that was just a little bit that I said about that. Question number 6. Who came along with King Agrippa? Oh, can you remember? It was Bernice. Bernice came along with King Agrippa. And the final question for today's quiz, when Festus judged Paul, did he find him guilty of anything? Yes or no? Did he find him guilty? Yes or no? You tell them. No, he didn't find him guilty of anything. Okay, children, that's us for this week. Don't forget to go online for this week's activities. Remember to ask your nearest adult to help you get into the Zoom chat after this is finished. And we will now end with a song from every nation. So from him and from me, it's God bless and bye.
lives in me. I am alive in you. I am alive in you. My story ends with you. Your glory lives in me. I am alive in you. I am alive in you.